So for costume, with my actors who were playing multiple characters, I needed them to be in a kind of basic black underlayer. So that would be Ed, Roger, and Siobhan being the main characters, because they have side characters as well. For Ed, that was like the least concern because he only had Mr. Gascoigne as his other role, and he only really stands up and says one line at the very end. So that wasn't a complete necessity for me, for him to have like a black layer. So I definitely wanted him to have black trousers and black shoes. His top, I said that I wanted a black and red check shirt if he had it, which it ended up that he didn't, but he had a blue and black one, which wasn't completely terrible. I wanted reds just because Christopher's favourite colour's red, and therefore it kind of fit a lot more and showed the audience that kind of relationship. For Roger, he also plays the Reverend Peters and Mrs. Shears. So for that, I definitely needed a base black, like a base of black. So what we decided, so I worked with him for this kind of to figure out what he was comfortable with, especially as he was playing a woman for one of them, so kind of what would not make it humorous but would kind of make it a bit more serious. So for Roger, we decided base of black. He had black trousers, I think black shoes, and a black shirt. So we had a yellow tie for Roger to kind of show the relationship between him and Christopher, because Christopher doesn't like yellow. And the tie kind of makes him look a bit more professional, I guess. So that was definitely a must. The Reverend Peters, we thought it would be quite easy just to like slip a bit of a white collar in to be like kind of priestly. And that would be quite an easy costume change. And then Mrs. Shears, we thought just kind of have a hat. I think it was a straw kind of bonnet type hat that we ended up using. So we worked together on that to try and figure out what he would be comfortable with doing. And I think it ended up looking quite good. Siobhan, she was quite a few people. So she was Siobhan, who wasn't in much to begin with because her first character was a police officer. And then she was Woman on Heath for one line as well. So for Siobhan, we had her in a cardigan and a scarf. Initially, I didn't really want the scarf for Siobhan, I only wanted it for Woman on Heath, but it ended up that it was easier to keep it on for both, as the Woman on the Heath was such a short character, it didn't particularly matter. Police officer, we had her in a high-vis yellow jacket with the base of black underneath as well. That worked quite well, and the cardigan that she had for Siobhan was a purpley pink colour. And she got it from her mum, so it was definitely kind of like a mumsy kind of cardigan, which is what I wanted. For Christopher, we ended up, so I wanted something kind of similar to the real performance, in that he had grey sweatpants and a blue jumper, which I thought looked really kind of good, because blue and grey were never colours that he mentioned, and he never really said if he liked it or disliked it, so that works quite well. We ended up with a grey hoodie, a red hoodie that was unzipped with a black top underneath, black jeans, black shoes. I think it works fairly well. I think the only thing was, because I definitely pushed this whole idea to them about, reds for the characters that Christopher liked. The person playing Christopher, kind of ran with that and brought in a red hoodie for it. So while I feel like that might have been a bit too much red, I guess, especially because Judy was wearing red as well, I don't think it looked terrible and like it was completely taking over the play. But I definitely feel like I could have thought about that a bit more and used some of the colours that weren't specified. Because because while it was useful to pick out the little bits of characters and use colours to represent those bits, so like a yellow tie or the little bit of yellow on Mrs. Shear's hat, I feel like I could have used it a lot more subtly. And then for Judy, she had black trousers, black shoes again, and a more red blouse, which I think overall looked well, and it definitely tied her and Christopher together. But again, it was very obvious, and I could have used the colours a lot more subtly.